Here is the feeling I'm talking about. You ask the AI for a component, and what it gives you is fine, it works, but it's not what you imagined. It's so close, and yet that last little bit, the part that was actually in your head, just isn't there. And honestly, you have kind of made peace with it. You tell yourself this is just how AI builds front end, and half the time you don't even notice the gap. You just assume it's accurate. And that makes sense. You can't ask the AI for better if you don't even know it can do better. So you trust the first thing it gives you. But watch this. I just tested its own form and it got a bug I would have shipped. I didn't even touch it. Here is the good news. You are not bad at this and the tool isn't the problem. It comes down to 5 small mistakes nearly every front-end dev makes with AI, and I made all 5 myself before I figured this out. Once you see them, you can start fixing them before your very next prompt and actually feel your work speed up, and it starts with a file you set up once and haven't opened since. It's slowing you down before you even open your editor. So I asked it for a delete account button. It comes back, looks great, red, does the job. And then I looked at how it did it. Buddy, what did you do? My design system had no destructive variant, no red button defined anywhere. So instead of telling me that gap existed, it just improvised. It grabbed my secondary button and bolted a red class name straight onto it. Inline, yeah, one-off hack. And that's a trap. Modern cloud code is good. It reads your code base, it uses your component, but at the edges where your system has a hole, it quietly papers over it instead of flagging it. Now you have got hard-coded red styling that the next delete button won't match. That's how a clean design system rots. One improvised hack at a time. The fix. Simpler than you would think. I didn't build anything myself. I wrote one rule in my context file. Destructive actions use a destructive variant. Never inline colors. That's the whole fix. Same prompt, and now it goes and creates a proper destructive variant. Clean, consistent, no hack, one rule, and it built the real thing instead of hacking around the gap. Your context file isn't there to describe your stack. Claude already reads that. It's there to guard the decisions Claude cannot see. But even the perfect rule file can't save you from the next one, where the problem isn't the AI, it's how you're asking. We have all heard it. The way to get good results from AI is better prompts. More detail, more words, and spell out exactly what you want. And for a lot of things, sure, but when you are trying to match a real design, forget it. That's not the move. Watch. I described one of my employee cards in words, a good detailed paragraph. And the tool did fine. It got the structure, the avatar, the batches, and the layout roughly right. And for one card, it's close, really close, but not quite mine. See that 3 little dot menu in the corner? Skipped it. A go or 2 more and I would have this one nailed. But that is one card, and now I want the whole page. And this is where it gets real. A full grid, every department its own color, the menu on every card, all the different statuses. Describing all of that in words, that's not 2 more goes. That's 10-15 rounds of back and forth. So I stopped describing and just showed it a screenshot of the real thing and a dead simple prompt, match this. And it matched the whole thing. Colors, batches, layouts, all of it. From one image and one short sentence. That's a shift. Describing scales badly. The bigger the design, the more rounds it costs. A screenshot stays simple no matter how complex the design is. If it exists anywhere, a Figma frame, a component, a screenshot, stop typing it, show it. Those first 2 were about what you put in. But the next one, the first time when I saw it happen, I actually stopped and stared. The AI turned around and tested its own work, caught its own bug, and I realized I had been doing a job I never needed to do. This is the big one. Sometimes we have all felt this. The loop where it fears it fixed the bug, but it didn't. And every time it tries, it just makes it worse. Let me tell you how bad it got for me. I'm building a dynamic form. I just want the fields editable. I asked the AI to fix it. Done. It's not done. Still broken. It tries again. Still broken. Every single failed attempt. It does not undo. It stacks a new fix on the broken one. 4 attempts deep. My code is a war zone. Half applied changes fighting each other. You know what finally fixed it? I deleted everything it did and started clean. The real bug was a re-render loop. Something it could never see because it wasn't a look, it was a behavior. That's the verify-reject-retry trap. The AI can't test its own work, so you become the bottleneck, checking every attempt, becoming its QA department. And every failed fix rots your code a little more. So you give it a way to actually test itself. Playwright MCP. It opens the real page in a browser. Any setup that does that works. Watch this. It builds the form, then it opens the browser and tests it itself. Types in every field, throws bad inputs at it, checks the errors, and look what it got. My email validation was accepting bob@host.com, double dots. Straight through, no error. A bug I would have shipped. And then it got something even better. My submit button was disabled with no error shown. User fills in nothing. Buttons grayed out. Zero explanation why. That's not a code bug. That's a UX dead end. And it only found it because it used the form like a real human. Then I said fix it. It patched both and retested in the browser to confirm. Find, fix, verify. I just watched. Real talk though, because you have felt this too. It's not a magic and it won't catch everything. That re-render bug from my story, even this might have missed because some bugs are behavior, not appearance. But the visual stuff, the click-through testing that eats your afternoon, off your plate and fast. You are not the QA department anymore. If that just saved you some real valuable time, that's kind of the whole channel, a real front-end workflows with AI, no fluff. Subscribe and the next one is waiting for you. And once the tool can test its own work, you can hand it the much bigger jobs, which is mistake 4. Say you want an icon next to every card heading across every page. The slow way, the way I would normally do it, open one page, add it, next page, add it, next page, add it. Same changes, file after file, and you are the one keeping them all consistent. 3 pages here, in a real app, 20 or 30. And every one of those is you, carrying the same change in your head. So instead, hand over the whole pattern at once. Add an icon next to every card heading across all the pages. One instruction. And watch what it actually did. Because this is the part that got me. The lazy way to do this, the way a quick prompt usually gets handled, is to just go edit every card one file at a time. 20 near identical edits. Instead, it went straight to the shared card title component, added a single icon prop, and passed the right icon at each spot. That's exactly the move you would want a good engineer to make. Find the one place that controls all of them. I handed it a tedious instruction and it found a clean architecture. This only works when it's genuinely a repeated pattern. One-offs are fine, file by file, but the second you feel yourself repeating the same pattern, that's your signal to zoom out and let it find the clean way. Which brings us to the last one, and it changes how you start a future entirely. There is a way to start a new future that makes the first 10 minutes basically disappear, and almost nobody does it. Because the slow way feels more careful. It is not. Here is the slow way. You prompt the component, then the types, then a test, then you wire it together yourself. 4 prompts, 4 context switches, and you are the glue holding the pieces together. Instead, ask for the whole slice at once. Component, types, validation, a test, scaffolded together, ready to refine. And look at what one prompt produced. Types and validation, a reusable model, the future itself, the wiring, and a full test suite. It set up the entire test harness, VI test, config, 6 passing tests. That's 5 separate prompts collapsed into one, and I'm not the one stitching it together. It even reused the exact email validation we hardened in mistake 3, stayed consistent with the code base instead of reinventing it, linked clean, types pass, 6 out of 6 green. And here is the part I love, harnessed part. It told me what it left rough. Plain select to upgrade later. The submit just updates local state, so wire in your API. Model doesn't fully trap focus yet. It handed me the refined list itself. That's the whole shift. You are not starting from a blank page and assembling. You are starting from a working tested skeleton and refining. And refining 80% done beats building from zero 4 times every time. So that's the fight. And here is what I love about this. You didn't need a new tool. You didn't need to wait for a smarter model. Everything you just learned is a habit. 5 small habit you can start today with the exact setup already open on your screen. You just got better at this. Quick recap. Don't describe your stack. Guard it. Don't describe your UI. Show it. Don't be the AI's eyes. Give it its own. Don't go file by file. Work in patterns. And don't build a future piece by piece. Scaffold the whole thing at once. Anyone saves you time, but stacked together, that's when it clicks. Because the speed was never about typing faster. It was all that quiet work I didn't even know I was doing gone. Remember that feeling from the start? That little gap between what you pictured and what the AI actually built. Every one of these 5 habits is about closing that gap. Getting the thing in your head onto the screen without fighting for it. And mistake 3, giving the tool eyes. That one alone changed how I build UI. Got an AI habit that genuinely sped you up? Drop it in the comments. I read every one and I'm always stealing the good ones. And remember the context file from mistake 1. One rule was enough to fix it here, but there is a lot more to it. Why these files drift over time, how to keep them solid. I have got a full video on that. You can watch it right here.